Before you load up that plate at the cruise buffet, stop right there. Because what I am about to tell you could be the difference between enjoying your cruise on the pool deck or spending it locked in your cabin bathroom. Hey everyone, welcome back to Cruise Compendium. Look, I absolutely love cruising. And honestly, the food is one of the best parts of any cruise vacation. Unlimited dining, multiple restaurants, 24/7 room service. I mean, come on, it is incredible. But here is something most cruise lines would rather you not think about too much. 2025 has actually been pretty rough when it comes to cruise ship stomach bugs. The CDC reported 12 separate outbreaks just in the first few months of this year, and 10 of those were Norovirus, which, if you have ever had it, you know it is absolutely miserable. Now, I am not trying to freak you out or make you cancel your cruise. Trust me, cruising is still one of the safest vacation options out there. But after spending way too much time researching food safety reports and talking to experts, I have learned there are some specific foods you should probably skip if you want to actually enjoy your vacation instead of making friends with your toilet. Today, I am breaking down 19 foods that experts say you should avoid. And look, some of these really surprised me. Like, I had been eating them for years without a second thought. So whether you are a first-time cruiser or you have been on 50 cruises, you are probably going to learn something new here. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and let us get into it. Alright, let us start with the big one. That beautiful sushi display at the buffet. I know it looks amazing. Trust me, I know. But this is one you really want to think twice about. Here is the thing. Food safety experts like Martin Bucknevage from Penn State say raw seafood is already considered high risk even in the best circumstances. You are dealing with potential Salmonella, Norovirus, and Vibrio bacteria. All the fun stuff. But here is what makes buffet sushi even riskier. You have absolutely no idea how long it has been sitting there. Was it made fresh 30 minutes ago? Or has it been under those lights since they opened the buffet 3 hours ago? You just do not know. And think about this. You have got hundreds of people walking by that buffet, using the same tongs, touching the same serving utensils. Bacteria can spread from dish to dish crazy fast. Maritime lawyers point out that raw fish needs to be flash frozen to kill parasites. But if those items are just sitting out at a buffet not being kept properly cold, you are basically playing Russian roulette with your stomach. Look, if you really want sushi on your cruise, and I get it, I love sushi too. Order it from one of the sit-down restaurants, someplace where you can actually watch them make it fresh. At least then you know it was not sitting out forever. Raw oysters and clams are even sketchier than sushi. And here is why. Maritime health experts are super clear that shellfish need strict temperature control to be safe. Like, really strict. Plus, cruises get their ingredients from all different ports, which means you have got supply chain issues, different standards in different countries, all kinds of variables that can increase contamination risk. Here is what you should look for. If you see raw oysters or shellfish at the buffet, they should be sitting on ice. Like, visible ice. Lots of it. If you walk up and those oysters are just chilling there without proper refrigeration, that is a huge red flag. Food safety people talk about this danger zone, 40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. When food sits in that temperature range, bacteria just go wild. They multiply like crazy. I have actually seen raw oyster bars on cruise ships where the ice had clearly melted and the shellfish looked, well, warm. And I just walked right past it. Not worth the risk. If you cannot see clear evidence that the shellfish is being kept ice cold, just skip it. There's plenty of other food. Okay, this one kind of blew my mind when I first learned about it. Those big hotel pans of scrambled eggs at the breakfast buffet? Yeah, those are almost always made from powdered eggs. Not real fresh eggs. Powdered eggs. Now, before you freak out, powdered eggs are not necessarily unsafe. They are actually easier to store and transport on a ship where refrigerator space is limited. I get the logistics of it. But here is the problem. The texture is usually pretty terrible. They end up spongy, kind of rubbery, sometimes weirdly watery if they did not cook them right, and if those eggs have been sitting out under a heat lamp for a while. Which, let us be honest, they probably have. The quality just gets worse and worse. Food safety experts also warn about egg dishes that have been sitting too long or handled by tons of passengers reaching over them. Instead, here is what I do. Head straight to the made-to-order omelet station. You will watch them crack actual fresh eggs right in front of you. Problem completely solved. Plus, those omelets are way better anyway. I know what you're thinking. Wait, ice cream is bad now? Hold on. Let me explain. The ice cream itself is probably totally fine. It is that self-serve machine lever that is the issue. Think about this for a second. You use your hand to pull down that lever, right? That same lever that literally hundreds of other people have touched throughout the day. Some of them definitely did not wash their hands after using the bathroom. Some might be coming down with something and do not even know it yet. Then what do most people do? They switch the cone to that same hand that just touched the gross lever, and boom, now you are eating ice cream with contaminated hands. Congratulations. Health experts say those self-serve machines are like bacteria breeding grounds, just like those condiment pumps at the buffet. Nobody is wiping down that lever between every single person. But here is the easy fix. Use a napkin to pull down the lever. Or even better, get your ice cream in a bowl instead of a cone. That way your hands never actually touch what you are putting in your mouth. Simple. Ketchup, mustard, hot sauce. Those squeeze bottles just sitting out on tables and at buffet stations. Yeah, those get touched by hundreds of people every single day. And spoiler alert, not everyone washes their hands. Food safety experts actually recommend asking the staff for those little single-serving packets instead. If they do not have packets available, at least hit that hand sanitizer before and after touching the bottles. And here is something else most people do not even think about. Condiments like ketchup can technically sit out unrefrigerated for like a month, but they can spoil way earlier if they are sitting too close to a heat lamp, or if they keep getting contaminated from people using them over and over. Pro tip: if a condiment bottle looks crusty around the cap, or the stuff inside looks separated or weird, do not use it. Just do not. Alfredo sauce, Hollandaise. Basically any cream-based sauce just sitting out at the buffet. These can go bad really fast if they are not kept at the right temperature. Food safety specialist Darren Detweiler talks about this a lot. Cream-based sauces spoil quickly if they are not stored properly. Look for warning signs like separation, grainy texture, or if the color just looks off. If the sauce looks sketchy, do not eat it. Here's another thing. Heavy cream-based foods are super high in fat, which can really mess with your stomach, especially if you are already dealing with any motion sickness. That combination of rich food plus possible spoilage is just asking for trouble. If you really want pasta Alfredo or eggs Benedict with Hollandaise, order it from a sit-down restaurant where they make it fresh when you order. You will get way better quality, and way less risk of getting sick. Unless you literally see that pizza come straight out of the oven and onto the buffet line. Chances are it has been sitting under those heat lamps for a while, and by a while. I mean possibly hours. You know what I'm talking about. Dry crust, that weird congealed cheese, toppings that are kind of chewy and sad-looking, not appetizing. Most cruise ships have actual pizza venues where they make it fresh to order. Like Carnival has Guy Burger joint with pizza. Royal Caribbean has Sorrento's. That pizza is made fresh when you ask for it. It comes out hot. It is actually good. That is the pizza you want. Not those depressing slices that have been slowly dying under a heat lamp at the buffet for who knows how long. All right, before we keep going, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we are only halfway through, and I have got some surprising ones coming up. Drop a comment with the word healthy if these tips are making sense so far. Let us keep going. Brie, feta, blue cheese, cream cheese spreads. If these are sitting out on the buffet at unsafe temperatures, they can harbor some nasty stuff, specifically Listeria. Darren Detweiler warns about this a lot. Soft cheeses are risky if they have been sitting at the wrong temperature. And honestly, even desserts like cheesecake and custard-based pastries can become bacteria breeding grounds if they are left out too long. The key thing here is temperature control. If you walk up and the soft cheese looks like it has clearly been sitting at room temperature for a while, just skip it. Go for something that is either obviously fresh, steaming hot, or properly chilled on ice. When in doubt, just move on to something else. There is too much food on a cruise to gamble on questionable cheese. Pre-cut fruit seems so innocent, right? Watermelon, pineapple, berries, all sitting there looking colorful and refreshing, especially on the pool deck on a hot day. But here is the problem. Pre-cut fruit can be a breeding ground for bacteria if it has been sitting out too long. The issue is cross-contamination. If the cutting board or knife they used was not properly sanitized, boom, bacteria transfers right to the fruit. And once fruit is cut open, it really needs to be refrigerated, sitting out at room temperature, especially in warm weather. It spoils fast, way faster than you would think. Here is what to look for. If the fruit looks dried out around the edges, or just does not look fresh and juicy, skip it. Better to grab a whole banana or an apple that you can peel or wash yourself. Way safer. Over easy eggs, sunny side up, soft-boiled eggs with those runny yolks. Look, I know some people love runny eggs, but they carry a higher risk of salmonella if they are not cooked properly. Experts are pretty clear on this. Avoid undercooked eggs, runny eggs, anything that has not been cooked to the proper internal temperature. If you want eggs for breakfast on your cruise, order them fully cooked, scrambled well done from the omelet station, or get an omelet that is cooked all the way through. Just do not gamble with runny eggs when you are on a cruise ship. It is not worth spending your vacation sick. Deli meats and cold cuts can be contaminated with Listeria if they are not stored at the correct temperature. And at a buffet, you have zero control over how long they have been sitting out. Food safety people always point to deli meats as a Listeria risk. If you walk up to the buffet and see deli meat just sitting there without proper refrigeration or ice underneath, hard pass. Instead, order a fresh sandwich from one of the cafes or deli counters on the ship. Somewhere they actually slice the meat right in front of you when you order. Much safer. This should be super obvious, but you would be shocked how many people ignore their gut instinct. If food looks discolored, smells funky, or just seems off in any way, do not eat it. Period. Trust your gut. Like, literally trust your gut. Your body has built-in warning systems for a reason. If something does not look right or smell right, it probably is not right. There is so much food available on a cruise ship. You do not need to take chances on questionable dishes. Just move on to something else. Okay, we are at the halfway point, and I want to hear from you. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Drop a comment below and let me know. And while you are down there, smash that like button if you are finding this helpful. Also, I put together a free cruise health and safety checklist. The link is in the description below. Grab it before your next cruise because it has got a ton of extra tips. All right, let us power through the rest of these. Potato salad, macaroni salad, coleslaw. Basically, any salad made with mayonnaise sitting out at room temperature is just asking for trouble. Mayo-based foods need to stay cold, like really cold. When they sit out in that danger zone, 40 to 140 degrees, bacteria multiply incredibly fast. And at a busy buffet where food might sit there for hours, you are basically rolling the dice with your digestive system. If you really want potato salad or coleslaw, ask one of the staff members if it was just made and if it has been properly refrigerated. If they look at you funny or cannot answer, just skip it and grab something else. Whatever is still sitting on the buffet right before it closes has been out there the longest. Think about it. That tray of chicken, that pan of pasta. It could have been sitting there since the buffet opened hours and hours ago. Here is my rule. Avoid loading up your plate right before the buffet is about to close. That food has had maximum time to sit at potentially unsafe temperatures. Go earlier in the service when things are still fresh, or just wait and hit up a different restaurant. Not worth the risk. When you get off the ship in a foreign port, do not drink the tap water, not even for brushing your teeth. Use bottled water instead. Always. A lot of ports have water that is not safe for tourists. It can have bacteria or parasites that the locals have built up immunity to, but will absolutely wreck you as a visitor. Always drink bottled water when you are off the ship, and avoid ice in your drinks unless you know for sure it was made from purified water. This one seems obvious, but you would be surprised how many people forget and get sick. Look, I love trying authentic local food as much as anyone. It is one of the best parts of traveling. But street food in some ports can be really risky, especially if it has been sitting out in the heat, or if the hygiene situation looks questionable. If you want to try street food, and I am not saying do not, just be smart about it. Look for vendors that have high turnover, lots of locals eating there. That is usually a good sign. Food that is being cooked to order right in front of you. Avoid anything that looks like it has been sitting out for a while. And always make sure any meat is cooked all the way through. No pink, no questions. Salad bars are kind of notorious for cross-contamination. Someone uses the same tongs for the chicken as they do for the lettuce. Or somebody sneezes over the whole thing. Or people just touch stuff with their bare hands. It happens. If you are going to eat from the salad bar, choose items that are less likely to be contaminated. Whole vegetables that still have their skin on. Pre-packaged items if they have them. Avoid anything that looks like it has been really picked through or handled a lot by other people. Some specialty cheeses and dairy products on cruises might be unpasteurized. This is especially common on European cruises where unpasteurized cheese is way more normal. But these can carry Listeria and other bacteria. If you are not totally sure whether a cheese or dairy product is pasteurized, just ask someone. If they cannot tell you or do not know, skip it. Play it safe. This is especially important if you are pregnant, elderly, or have any kind of compromised immune system. Do not mess around with unpasteurized dairy. Okay, so this is not technically a food, but it is way too important not to include. Drinking too much alcohol, especially on an empty stomach, weakens your immune system and makes you way more likely to get foodborne illness. Alcohol also dehydrates you like crazy, which can make food poisoning symptoms so much worse if you do get sick. If you are drinking on your cruise, and let us be honest, you probably are. Make sure you are also eating real meals, staying hydrated with actual water, and not going completely overboard. Plus, here's the thing. If you get drunk, you are way more likely to make dumb food choices, like eating that sketchy sushi that has been sitting out for 3 hours, or grabbing street food from a vendor that looks questionable. Alcohol and good decision-making do not exactly go hand in hand. All right, friends, we are almost done here, but before we wrap this up, if you are finding this video helpful, do me a huge favor and share it with whoever you are cruising with next. Trust me, they will thank you later when they are not stuck in their cabin feeling miserable. And make sure you hit subscribe with the notification bell turned on. I drop new cruise tips every single week. Let us finish strong. Okay, so I just gave you 19 foods to avoid, but let me give you some bonus tips for actually staying healthy on your cruise, because avoiding bad food is only part of the equation. Number 1, wash your hands, like, all the time. Before every single meal, after using the bathroom, after touching railings or elevator buttons or door handles. Use those hand sanitizer stations that are everywhere on the ship. They exist for a really good reason. This is probably the single most important thing you can do. Number 2, choose sit-down restaurants over buffets whenever possible. The food is made to order. You are not dealing with hundreds of people touching the same serving spoons. And honestly, the quality is usually way better anyway. Number 3, stay hydrated with water, not just alcohol. Actual water. Dehydration makes you way more susceptible to getting sick, so drink water throughout the day, especially if you are in the sun or drinking alcohol. Number 4, if you start feeling sick, go to the medical center immediately. Do not try to tough it out. Do not wait to see if it gets better. Early treatment can keep things from getting way worse. Plus, you need to report it so the ship can take action if there is an outbreak happening. Number 5, trust your instincts. If something looks weird, smells off, or just does not feel right, do not eat it. There is way too much good food available on a cruise to take unnecessary risks with questionable stuff. So there you have it, 19 foods to avoid on your cruise if you actually want to stay healthy and enjoy your vacation. Plus those bonus tips to keep you feeling good the whole time. Look, I want to be super clear here. I am not trying to scare you away from eating on cruises. Most of the food is totally safe. Most of it is absolutely delicious. The cruise industry actually takes food safety really seriously. In fact, 24 cruise ships scored perfect 100 health inspection scores in 2025. The average score across the whole fleet is 96%, which is actually really good. But knowledge is power, right? Knowing which foods carry higher risks means you can make smarter choices. And making smarter choices means you are way more likely to enjoy your entire cruise instead of spending half of it feeling absolutely miserable locked in your cabin. Here is what I want you to do. Out of all 19 of these, pick the 5 that stood out to you the most. Write them down somewhere, save them in your phone, whatever works for you. And then when you are actually on your cruise, make conscious decisions about what you put on your plate. Your stomach will seriously thank you later. If you have not grabbed that free cruise health and safety checklist yet, the link is right there in the description below. It has all of this stuff organized, plus a bunch of extra tips for staying healthy at sea. Totally free. Just grab it. Until next time, this is Cruise Compendium. Stay safe out there, make smart food choices, and seriously enjoy every single minute of your cruise vacation. You worked hard for it. You deserve to actually enjoy it instead of being sick. Safe travels, everyone. I will see you in the next one. If you found this video helpful, check out these 2 videos next. Embarkation Day, mistakes that could ruin your cruise, and 21 cruise secrets that sound crazy until you try them. Both of those are going to seriously help you have a better cruise experience. Before you go, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you have not already. Turn on those notifications so you do not miss the next video, and drop your biggest cruise food question down in the comments. I might make an entire video answering it. See you next week.